Welcome back to The Express on Bowen Island. You're watching our Best Day Trip special. Now, if you're looking for an educational adventure where you can learn a little bit about BC's history, there's a place west of Agassiz where time stands still.
The livestock may not realize it, but this is a place that time seems to have forgotten.
This is all that remains of Harrison Mills, which was once a bustling community in the Fraser Valley. It was a mill town for many years. But our heritage site here is the Kilby historic site. The Kilby family that operated the general store and a farm in the area is all that's left of the once thriving community that was here.
Stu Watchorn is one of the custodians of that history, and his job is to ensure it stays alive.
If you see it here at Kilby, it's up to me to make sure that everything's top-notch here. Some of those baskets are several hundred years old. I was a theater student at the University of the Fraser Valley, and I took on the job for the summer of relaying the local history as a cultural interpreter. And I just fell in love with the place, and when the student program ended at the end of the summer, I didn't leave, I just stayed on. So this pantry and the kitchen we're in here are actually quite large for a typical home of those days.
The general store is where he spends much of his time, and today it's become a museum.
This is all the 1920s and 30s here.
Each item helps tell the story of this region located just west of Agassiz.
And of course this is a favorite of the kids here, the candy jars.
And is this edible?
It actually is probably about as old as you and me put together, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Even the food is from the 20s, preserved using the finest furniture varnish money can buy.
And if they were preserved correctly, they should still be edible, but I won't be trying them, I don't mind telling
you.
you.
Yeah, neither will I.
I love the history, and I'm born and raised right down the street from here. And so I'm very deeply interested in the local history of the Kilby family, but also of the area.
Now, one thing I noticed is that every single room in this museum seems to tell a different chapter of the broader story, like this one.
And this is the First Nations Gallery here, which is a very, very important part of our history. After the mills closed down, the native communities around here were really what kept the Kilby family in this area. We feel personally responsible to make sure that BC's history is available to the people of BC, so we're all very dedicated to keeping this place open.
My father worked here for Kilby, worked in the store. You can still go through the cashiers and see those little tickets in there where he had signed off the credit for people coming in and so on.
The world's histories are extremely important, not just to the people of that area, but so that we can remember where we came from, what our roots are. And without the dedicated people that we have keeping this place going, eventually we'll lose that history. And we certainly feel that that is something that should never happen.
In Harrison Mills, I'm Peter Kim for The Express.
Kilby Historic Site is open daily through to September, and their next big event is on August 2nd. It's Kilby Pirates Day, so you can celebrate BC Day in swashbuckling style. Now, there's definitely a laid-back style with our next day trip, and that goes very nicely with our guide, the author of 52 Best Day Trips from Vancouver, who reminds us to take it easy, but take it.
Ladner is perfectly situated on the south arm of the Fraser River, and it predates Vancouver by a couple of decades, so you can see why people gravitated there immediately. It's agricultural and fishing, side by side.
Ladner is a mini getaway just south of Vancouver, and it's one of the day trips featured in Jack Christie's 52 Best Day Trips from Vancouver.
The thing I like about Ladner is, on a weekend, you can be there in 20 minutes, guaranteed, from downtown Vancouver.
And that means you're just 20 minutes away from river life, best explored by boat.
Right beside Sharky's restaurant is the Elliott Street Pier that was put in about 5 years ago just for public access into the Ladner Marsh area.
I think we're probably going to look at the birds. We brought a picnic lunch, so we're hoping to enjoy that. And yeah, just enjoy the sunshine.
When you're in Ladner, you're still experiencing life on the river as it used to be all around Vancouver.
And this window to the past can best be explored through Ladner's antique stores, and you can get some good deals too.
It stands to reason that when you have a town as vintage as Ladner, you're going to have a lot of antique supplies that are constantly showing up on local stores because people are cleaning out their barns, their homes, their basements. That's where you're going to strike gold.
There are also heritage buildings like Massey's Marine Supply Store right on the river.
Massey's Marine Supply, it started back in 1937 with George Massey, and we've taken it over from him, so it's now been here for 73 years.
After a day of exploring downtown Ladner, hop over to Ladner Harbour Park for some relaxation and to see the old working harbour.
You just get out of the tunnel and you see all this open space, and it's just relaxing. You just leave it in the tunnel. You know how it is to be on the Gulf Islands? That's what Ladner's like.
Just a little closer. I'm Erin Shaw in Ladner for The Express.
Jack's most recent book is Best Weekend Getaways from Vancouver. I like that idea as an Express special. And if you'd like to win a copy of his book, 52 Best Day Trips from Vancouver, you can send us an email now, expresscontest@shaw.ca, and be the first correct person to tell us how long Jack says it takes to get to Ladner from downtown Vancouver on the weekend. And good luck to you. And stay with us because we're going to be hitting the water with more of Vancouver's best day trips coming up. Up next,
you're in a different place when you're on an island.
Kayaking around Bowen Island.
To see it from the water, even better.
A riverboat cruise along the Fraser.
I have never done the Fraser River like this before.
The Express. This is your local voice.
Today's generation of young people spend the least amount of time outside of any generation in human history. We need to have children out, we need to have people out in order to see the world around that allows us to live. I think something like the Sea to Sky Trail is the epitome of what we need to get people back out into the real world, to see nature as it can be, and something that we are a part of and that we must fight to protect.
Welcome back to our Express Best Day Trip special. Today we hop the water taxi from Granville Island to Bowen Island. But our fun on the water doesn't stop there. One of the best ways to get to know this island is to kayak around it.
You're so close to the water. It's lovely. Everybody thinks it's difficult. I think a lot of people associate it with the beer commercials where they're heading off down waterfalls. But that just isn't happening around here. Different boats, different idea. Let it go. Drop down onto the boat, don't let go. Excellent. Okay, just paddle a little on the left. Okay, off we go.
So who's the boss then, Martin? You or me? Who gets to lead?
Definitely.
You're the boss, okay.
Yes.
Even though I'm up front?
Yeah. Well, it's fairly easy to do, and it can be done by anybody, really, whatever their body shape is, or how old or young they are. People like being on islands. There's a whole understanding that you're in a different place when you're on an island, and then to see it from the water, even better. There's a great hike up into the Killarney Lake. So a lot of people come, do the hike in the morning or kayak with us in the afternoon, spend some time, eat here. There's good restaurants and snack bars and everything you want for a day trip.
Life looks a little different from the water, hey? Whether you're in the seat of a kayak or on the deck of a paddle wheeler. Up next on the Express, we're launching in New Westminster and we're cruising the Fraser River.
This is the Royal City, New Westminster, named by Queen Victoria.
Ulrich Gata brings the Fraser River to life for passengers aboard the Beta Star.
Down on the lower deck.
This job is fantastic because, well, you get to work with people. I love people. You get to be out on the water. And a beautiful day like today, even though it's cloudy, it's still a beautiful day in BC.
Paddle Wheeler Riverboat Tours uses both their old-fashioned paddle wheeler and their smaller boat, the Beta Star, to take tourists up and down the Fraser River.
I'm from Vancouver Island, not very far away, but I have never done the Fraser River like this before, and I'm just so impressed to see all of the terrain from this perspective, the marshlands, the mountains, because on the road you just don't see it the same. So it's really awesome to see the river. the Fraser River, the mighty Fraser. It's just so nice. But it's nice to see the industrial sites too, because you don't know it's there if you don't see it.
Well, in the main part of the rivers, especially on the Fraser, there's a lot of industrial activity. I like that kind of stuff. I'm kind of a hands-on kind of guy. I enjoy talking about the logging, the bridges. There's some bridges there that have been around since the turn of the century, 1904.
And this history captures the imagination not only of tourists, but also of locals.
I've never been actually on the river. I've certainly driven by it. Like, I'm from Coquitlam. It's been such an incredible experience to see it from the water, to see, you know, all the landmarks and the wildlife, and just explaining about the bridges and all that kind of thing. It's been fantastic. So we've really enjoyed it, and it's awesome.
One of the largest industries in BC is still logging.
I think it's important to know about the river itself. So many people sit back in their homes and they don't understand that this is like the river of life, right? I mean, this is what's bringing down so much of the life to Vancouver. It brings the salmon down. So much of the logging has to do with the river, and of course tourism also.
And with paddle wheeler riverboat cruises, tourism will continue alive and well on the Fraser River. In New Westminster, I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
The paddle wheeler riverboat cruises offer short ones, long ones, and even multi-day excursions, 3-day trips up to Harrison Lake and back. You can get all the details at their website. And for more great excuses to tour BC, we've got your Williams Moving and Storage Big Summer Spotlight. Incredible food, great music, live entertainment, and most importantly, incredible food. Join some of North America's barbecue champions in Whistler as they go head-to-head in best burger, chili, brisket, and chicken events. BC Day celebrations in Victoria will feature over 50 musicians and artisans on 3 stages, including Engelbert Humperdinck's Hansel and Gretel, a classic children's opera for the whole family. Musicians from as far as Sweden will come together for the 23rd annual Chilliwack Bluegrass Festival. Look forward to plenty of great music, corn shucking contests, workshops, and more. And that's it for today's Express from Snug Cove on Bowen Island. Thanks for watching our Best Day Trip special. You can watch the show again online at vancouver.shawtv.com, and you can tell your friends about it too, so you can get out there and enjoy some of these ideas we've shared. We're going to leave you, as always, with a look at the local art scene. Here's the sights and sounds of the Vancouver Early Music Festival. See you next time.